is it. Living the dream. Driving around the fynbos, looking at the bokkies. Trying to make the horses go faster. Simple.
Just give you the space, let the outlay, and get it to come fast and you can bring out the drinkers, please. Go right to the bottom of the track. This can's a nice can to store it.
Familie, take green sunset, please. Corneille, secret tactic for Corneille, please.
There's a lot of things that we do that probably won't be done at any other place. And the main reason for that is the horse's welfare and well-being is paramount. It takes preference above anything else.
Let your horse enjoy his work, but I also want to just test the
Especially after rain and stuff, you get here and you see all these little tracks. You can see a lot of activity happening overnight, and we've had leopard tracks here a couple of times, and we've got some trail cams on the farm that also and we catch a leopard every now and again. It doesn't cause a hassle for us. It's actually nice to know that he's here, and obviously all sorts of other little animals as well, badgers and wildcats and caracal, tierenboskat, what's that, a lynx probably.
Corneille, short burst op die gras asseblief. Laat ek nou op die werk. Hy het laas toe om die gras gehad, het baie sleg gewerk. Sy sandwerk het baie verbeter sedertdien, so laat hy stretch. Ons kyk waar ons is, jy weet.
Was nice.
Ja, ek sien
Bietjie keen.
Ja, ek het vir hom gesê ek wil nie agter die spring net die vat sy, maar dan wil sy nie verbygaan nie.
Yes.
Maar ek het vir nou net vir hom gesê ek kan nie recall dat hy filly ooit saam met iets gewerk het waar sy eintlik outstanding gewerk het. Die enigste tyd wanneer sy goed is wanneer sy eintlik op haar eie werk.
Dis so.
Ja. Sy is of wil nie agter sit nie. Of sy wil nie verby op nog berg.
Ja.
'n Reisdag is hele anders. Maar die enigste tyd wanneer sy baie goed werk is wanneer sy eintlik op haar eie.
Ek werk al in Bitterman saam met company.
Ja.
Bitterman.
Ek dink sy regtig sy hou hiervan.
Told them I want to swim some drinkers. Either you or African swimmer. Okay.
Yeah, we have a horse called Drickus doing his workout in the pool this morning. We swim him a couple of times, 4 or 5 times, doing a lot of work like this with him, and he's enjoying himself. He's a good swimmer. Like I said, he's managing well at the moment with what we're doing with him, and now we're training him at the moment, so just hope by the time we get to the race course, this type of work we've done with him will pay off. It's a great cardiovascular exercise, anaerobic, just obviously works different type of muscles. It just works with different type of horses also. Horses that are quite strong at the track and tend to always overdo it. You take them in the pool, and if they like to swim, you do a lot of their exercise in there. As opposed to fast work canter days, you can do 5-6 laps in here and just build them up like that. We took him completely out the track and just started swimming him every day for 2 weeks, morning and afternoon, just to develop muscle again in him, into his top line, into his iron quarter. He's enjoying it because he's come out of it well and he's back to working well.
We swim quite a lot of horses, but then this morning he just swam. We used the swimming for him just as a muscle stretch. It's not for fitness, it's more just a therapeutic tool for anything else. Yeah, a couple of laps. You don't want to stress them to a point where they get tired and you run into problems, although that hasn't happened to us yet because they realize at some point that they float quite nicely. So we also see if you swim also a lot, they end up swimming quite a lot slower because they realize they float and they don't have to exert themselves. So some horses really motor through the pool, and it's nice to see and interesting, and it feels like you're getting working on their fitness, but we've checked their heart rate and stuff, and it doesn't seem to like really push the heart rate up to a point where they're stressed. But it is a nice tool for, especially when you've got an injury to deal with leg-wise and you still want to keep your horse active. It's a luxury that's nice to have on the farm. If horses have had a hard week or galloped the day before or something, or even horses that are just have niggling issues, joints or tendons or ligaments, those kind of things, they'll be prime candidates to go spend some time at the beach. Just a nice long walk, stand in the water, but we also use the beach as a space for afternoon walks as well. If the tide is right, we can go. It's just it's quick and easy, they like going there. So it's not something we need to plan too hard about. Just if we want to, we can go. I think it's important to really like horses when you work with them. There's not a lot of people who seem to like horses all the time. So no, Miss Plattner has fantastic horses, and it's a real privilege, and to have a team around us that has the same ethos that Mrs. Plattner has installed in us. That's really satisfying to see. Races are very often a byproduct of what we love doing, and especially for this farm, but I think the horses are the big thing.
Wonderful jubilation. Andre Nel having his Group 1 winner for Mrs. Plattner. He'll be absolutely elated. You can see what it means to jockey Grant van Niekerk as well, and a wonderful team effort there. They do have a wonderful team up on the West Coast, and Andre Nel, the true professional in terms of how he sends his runners to the races, and I'm sure Mrs. Plattner will be absolutely delighted with this victory.
Best part about picking youngsters?
Getting it right every now and again. That's we're all winners when we sign for the horse, but it takes a year or so for us to see if we actually did a good job. James bested as a phenomenal person. I'd like to say he's my friend, even though he's an old bully now. But he's taught me a hell of a lot about horses, and probably more in general in life as well. We share a lot of the same thoughts, but the way he picks horses is something that is well respected and well known throughout the world. I've adopted his system just to make it easier when we work together, but it's also a system that I think works well. So I very seldom look at a horse without thinking what James will say about the horse. James has bought some of Miss Plattner's best horses, and he's as vital as anybody for us, and like his record keeps on proving himself day to day wherever he goes. Ferryman, good family, but very striking, and it's got a lot of personality about him as well. Never really sure if it's a good thing for a racehorse, but he does have a lot of personality. And I didn't buy him, Miss Plattner bought him. She basically picked him herself, saying, I want that one. So, his name wasn't always Ferryman, but we changed it to Ferryman. So Ferryman will be the Christa Berg reference, like after death. On the way to Valhalla, you've got to jump on the ferry. We have a nice row here actually. We got this is Head Honcho's half brother. The next door is Snow Pilot's half brother. Then it's an imported colt that we like a lot, and and so on.
Retired old boys are here, our pony Bloodstock. Yeah, that's about it. This side. I'll take you to the other side to show you. Majority of these horses that you see are bred by La Plaisance. Then we buy a hand, probably between 5 or 10 a year. I'm gonna go put on some heart rate monitors now. If you want to come, Hoodie. He's gonna have a nice little gallop today with a youngster. Just trying to scan for the microchip. There we go. The system we use that scan the microchip on the horses, and it comes up on the system on the app. It does it for us. Okay.
The system is fairly simple. Mrs. Plattner owns everything. We're all employed. We obviously 3 farms basically. It all starts in George at La Plaisance, Mrs. Plattner stud farm in George, about 10 k's away from Fancourt, where it's a lovely farm. It's certainly one of the nicer farms in the country. Especially if you look at how much space the horses have and how big the paddock space is, and they have the same ethos where also the horse's welfare comes first. And from there we don't have a massive operation in the sense of how many horses we have. They try and breed 20 foals annually, and all 20 that we end up breeding, we will race, regardless of what they look like, which direction their legs point. So we take the good and the bad, and we race them all. I think it taught us a lot of lessons, because a lot of those horses you'll never pick at sales, and invariably they'll end up being some of our better horses. Like Head On Show, for instance, is a horse that I won't even take a second look at a sale. His legs were so bad, but he ended up being one of the better horses around. We get those 20 youngsters in every year, and then we try and supplement them by trying to buy around 5 horses annually at the sales that happens. That's what we'll have to make do, and that supports both yards from here and Durban and Futura as well. All the horses start off here first, and then we suss out which horses will be better suited where. And we're very lucky that Byron Foster is working for Mrs. Plattner in Futura, and he's also been with us for a long time, and he's one of the most trusted people we can have in our system, and so we let him get on with the job, and he does what he needs to do. And he turns the winners out on a very regular basis, with often quite weak horses, so he has to usually do some magic to get them going. But as far as the racing goes over here, then we race them, and Mrs. Plattner watch, and we go again. Very fun. First string, second string, third string. Just move them around. What works best on every morning. I know exactly what every horse is going to do before they leave here, so we don't get to the track and wonder unless there's some discussion needs to happen. But so this would have been worked out yesterday already or the day before, so we've got a fair idea what's going on. fostering is mainly just young horses, teaching them the ropes. So it's still a fair way off. We don't really press our youngsters, so we just let them come on at their own speed and get ready that way. Tournay is on a youngster. I'm going to see if he goes well enough, we'll run him next week, or otherwise we'll wait a bit. Right, Aviwe, take your time, go right from the bottom of the track, canter, nice canter all the way. You can actually maybe just go in the first opening, and do the first furlong on half pace, and you can ask her to quicken up to a 3/4 pace the second furlong.
The last two that I've done, is that like an okay speed?
Yeah, nice speed, but this one you can go a bit faster. And at least when you quicken up, you can go a bit faster. She's dead sweet, so she'll be fine. Thank you, Bomile, you're finished. Maybe you can take 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring Ferryman, please. You can do the same kind of thing. He is a colt, but you're not going to be any close to anything. The same work. Let him go through with his work. This is about all the horses we have that can race in Cape Town. We only have about 20 odd horses capable of racing at the moment. There are some older bullies there. We always manage to keep them going a bit longer than most. And the youngsters are, again, learning the ropes, and we'll see where we are. We've got obviously the sand track behind me. It's 1,000 meters straight. We try and prepare it consistently throughout the year, so it's not heavy, but it's not that light either, but it's very consistent. We're fortunate that it doesn't have a base, so below it is just 40 meters of sand, beach sand basically. So we can take quite a lot of rain and the tracks will remain the same. So that's a real advantage. We'd like a little bit of a longer track so I can get the horses a little bit fitter, but 1,000 meters is what we have, so we make it work. And then we also have the grass track behind us. Then we also have a synthetic track. It's a circular track, 1,300 meters right round. I don't particularly like using it for fast work or even canters, but it's a terrific trotting track and just something different for the horses. So this is what we have, and we make it work because we don't have to wait for anybody else. We can play around. We go the other way sometimes, up and down, just trying to shake things up.
My work was a groom, head groom for Plattner. It's August this year, I'm finished 25 years. I used to be the work rider before, but just, I think for Plattner, just 2 months. It's a perfect track from Plattner Racing, because the different thing also, you got on track, not like Sandra, like Therapeutic or Melendon. So it's quite easy for us to do whatever you want to do. I got 22 grooms at the moment now. They really enjoy the farm, and they really respect me. I'm happy for that, because the groom now is respect me more because I'm a little bit older now. Last affair was a horse. They moved from Therapeutic to Runnenberg. I think it's got only 3 winners that time, or 2, if I'm right. So they're winning almost like 7 Group 1. So he's a horse, he put the stable up. Last affair they win a computer from. I think she win a couple sprinter from Kenilworth, the fillies. And Angus also, she win the match. That time was just every day we smiling.
Here comes Free My Heart with a rush up the outside, but Angus is hanging tough, and Angus goes on to win the JMP Met.
Later on, even Andre started training. He trained Chance on that. So that was very good. He's my horse, the name is Joie de Gris. There's a horse, he's putting me up as a groom. I think they're winning 7 feature races. So they're winning 2 feature races in Scottsville. I got one day, I think it was a Friday, it was a nice race. Then I have 4 winners. So that was one of the day was a day for me. He's a laissez-faire in the finish sprint on Devon. He's a race, I think she win twice or 3 times. So laissez-faire was a very good feeling.
Park Lane's grabbing with Sleek Braschi. They get to the line. Laissez-faire's done it.
Laissez-faire and Sloveni, it's going to be close as they get to the line, desperately close.
Sabine, this has got to be one of the biggest moments in your racing career.
Definitely, Stan. I'm actually without words. I have nothing to add to it. I only can say I'm very, very happy. All I do, I organize ourselves now a big bottle of champagne and we will celebrate.
He's Chance and his brother. This morning was Tuesday, half place in the track. So these horses look like he can give us something. Kellam I really like a lot. He says he's feeling very good. Chance and that now he's on a farm. Respect him maybe in 2-3 years to bring your babies for us. I hope so. Will be another chance on it.
Chansonet was obviously the best of her generation, fillies-wise. She did have a significant problem though, where she bled, and that stops any horse, I'm afraid.
Chansonet is finding more. We're into the closing stages, and Chansonet beats Desert Miracle.
Just in awe of my team. Really grateful for what they put in the hard yards. Obviously to Mrs. Plattner and to Main Chance for breeding this filly. Really pleased for everybody involved.
Guinea's run was great, but 2 follow-up runs were probably better. Running in Shorthead second in the Paddock Stakes, Shorthead second, the Mallorca, both beaten by Captain Ransom, Richard flying from the back, Grant posing in front. I've forgiven Grant a long time ago, but I won't forget though. So, yeah, and then we put her away, hoping that she'll be a better 4-year-old. And not take it to Durban, but when she came back, she was a prolific bleeder. We just couldn't get her to stop bleeding, so she's a naked stud. She's had a baby. Obviously, hopeful that she'll turn out to be a top broodmare. Yeah, that's probably the most important one. We've had that a couple of times. The rest of all the sideshows, but that's our mission, is to try and get the owner of the year. That's something we can realistically hope for. With the number of horses we have, can't win trainer of the year with the number of horses, but owner of the year in the Cape, we always have a realistic chance, although the competition is stiff with all the big owners here. But I'd rather have stiff competition than just win it because you're the only one there. He came back after a year's break, having done a tendon, and first run back he won his best race. Yeah, I was Brett's assistant for a long time. Young Andre. Took over, I don't know, October that year, 2015 October. This was my first stakes winner. I spent a couple of years in the UK doing horsey stuff, university, stud work, that kind of thing. Sent in my CV and I'm still here. We've got some lovely farms and great stud managers in this country, guys I admire a lot. But for the amount of horses our farm produces, even though it's a magnificent farm, it does have to punch above its weight to compete against the best bred horses that others can produce. That's where it's important that the fillies we end up buying at sales must be strong in their pedigrees to eventually, hopefully, one day become broodmares. And the majority of our bloodlines will trace back to Australia, where we've talked about James Bester before, that has played a significant part in Mrs. Plattner's racing career or racing life. And he's still very much involved, and it's a real privilege to have him, even if it's just a ear on the other side of the phone. This is obviously just a small model of the farm. Currently we're over there, that's a stable block. The blue part is a no-go zone, and so it's too cold to swim, too dangerous with the sharks, so we just look at it. But the stables are over here. Behind the stables we've got some hot walkers. On this model we don't show the paddocks, unfortunately, but we've got a bunch of paddocks around the stable block. Walkway up to the track, and you can see from the track where the sand track is, the grass track and the synthetic track. And then above here is where the grooms' village is, all the grooms stay on the property. There's also a nice cafeteria that gets served lunch, and it's nice grooming quarters. Like with the horses, Miss Plattner really looks after her staff, and to form a very friendly, healthy environment for everybody, and the horses can certainly feel it. So that's lovely. And the rest is fynbos and little animals. Thanks for coming to visit us here on the farm. It's nice to see some city folks out here. It's been a tough morning. As you can see, it's really hard, but the day's done now. It's just about 9 o'clock, time to light the fire. Lunch is around the corner. Hopefully we'll see some of these in the winner's box.